totally unacceptable. That's the statement of APGA concerning their own member that is a lawmaker in Nigeria's House of Representatives. The lawmaker that assaulted the boat driver. The political party says it's totally unacceptable and they are planning sanctions. The question is, what sanctions? It's interesting that the political party is taking this stand because, as we all know, the lawmaker himself has gone public on the floor of the House of Reps to make what he thinks to tell Nigerians is an apology. But what you and I know is far from an apology. Mr. Lawmaker, don't tell us you're sorry because you're not. We know you're only sorry you got caught. Stop thinking you can give us that show that you did on the floor of the House of Reps. It was a show and we see through it. If there is any honor in you, I doubt there is, the honorable thing to do is to resign. Put in your resignation. That is what people in saner climes do. And Nigerians, there's a takeaway for this. A very massive takeaway. While all attention is focused on the lawmaker, I don't want to mention his name because I don't know who he is. Mentioning his name will only play to his ego. So I'll just refer to him as lawmaker. We are all focused on this lawmaker. But guess what? What this lawmaker did, how is it different from what Wike did? The same thing, even worse. These politicians have no regard for the people. It's like soldiers see civilians and in their minds they're like bloody civilians. These politicians too have come to imbibe the same mindset. Bloody citizens. They forget that it's the citizens that give them the power. It's the citizens that employed them to be their representatives. But there's a lesson in all of this. And in all of these shouts, let us not forget this very important lesson. In fact, I will make it two important lessons. Number one, we need a change of guards. We need a change of leadership. We need a change of this current set of leaders. We need a new set of leaders, people that are more patriotic, people with integrity. We need them. That's one. Two, this lawmaker is only behaving the way he is behaving now, pretending to be sorry because he got caught. And how did he get caught? The young man was smart enough, I use the word smart enough, to record quietly. And it's not just to record, I guess to live stream it. Because I'm sure that if he was just recording, the police would have gotten a hold of that phone and they would have deleted the video. Or perhaps he had two phones, he recorded with one and hid that phone. And so when the police arrested him, because the lawmaker called the police and he was arrested, the police would have confiscated that phone and they would have deleted what was on that phone. So I guess he was live streaming. He was smart enough to do that. Many Nigerians would not have been that smart. Yeah, I think. How many Nigerians would have been that smart? How many? In fact, many Nigerians would have been carried away by the fact that the man lives in Maitama, has a very big house, has many big cars. Many Nigerians would have been carried away by that. But I guess he was not. And he was smart enough to know to live stream or to record what was happening. In fact, the best thing would be to live stream. Don't record with the mind of uploading later. Live stream it. And this is the critical lesson. Every Nigerian must develop this skill of using their smartphone smartly. Every Nigerian must develop this skill of using their smartphone smartly. If you're not using your phone smartly, all manner of nonsense will happen to you. In fact, if you're not using your phone smartly, Nigeria will happen to you. I say smartly because if a policeman knows that you are recording him while he is carrying out injustice against you, particularly when you are on the highway far removed from the city, they can end your life. The same thing with a soldier, a military personnel. When they are carrying out acts of injustice against you and they discover that you are videoing them or you're video recording them, they can end you. So you have to be smart. Nigerians have to develop the habit of smartly recording incidences with their smartphone. This is called caught in the act. Can you imagine what would have happened if that young man did not record or live stream what happened? He would have been thrown in jail and nobody would have remembered or found or discovered where he was kept. In fact, he would have been thrown in jail and probably the keys thrown away. And this is an indictment of the Nigerian police. Just because somebody is high and mighty in the society does not mean that the rules have to be suspended in favor of those people. And so somebody came to make a complaint, and all of a sudden, from the account of the young man, we hear that even the police joined in the harassment of the boat driver. Although the office of the IGP has come to warn against this. But all of these are coming, whether it is the office of the IG, whether it is the political party, APGA in this case, whether it is the House of Reps that are pretending to be investigating and trying to give sanction, whether it is the high and mighty politicians that are friends to this lawmaker, all of them are just giving us this show they are giving us just because they got caught. So lesson, Nigerians, sharpen your skill to record. Sharpen your skill to record. Sharpen your skill to record. And do so smartly without being caught. This same thing that this young man did now, we can add it. We can add it to, or we can implement it in our elections. Don't forget that all of the so-called evidence of electoral violence that we have are not results, are not evidences or video recordings that were done on people with their full face shown and caught right in the act. You have one or two here and there, but the majority of the evidence is after the fact. The people come, they shoot guns, and as they are shooting guns, people run away. And when people run away, what happens? They carry out their actions. Nobody is there to video or record what is going on. And after they have finished their polling unit violence, they go away. The ballot boxes are burning and all of that. All the votes, ballots are scattered. And then people will now come back and now begin to record and upload and say, look at evidence. Nothing is there to show who did it, at what time it was done, and all that. And that's because it's understandable. When people hear gunshots, they will run for their lives. So how do we apply what this boat driver did to our elections? These are the questions we should be asking now. Because if we don't get our elections right, then Nigeria cannot be corrected. It's in a wrong course right now. While all of this is happening, nobody noticed. Nobody noticed that Tinubu went ahead again to increase the price of petrol from 10,000, 1,030 naira. It is now 1,060 naira. I was shocked when I got to the NNPC filling station yesterday and I saw that it was 1,060 naira. I didn't quite understand until I read the news and discovered that Tinubu has increased the price of petrol again through NNPC. Guess what? It happened after they had a meeting with Dangote and Dangote refineries. And somebody is still telling me again that Dangote refineries is here to help Nigeria. Exactly how? I don't know. Every time Dangote refinery comes out to say, oh, we have fuel. Every time it goes into a meeting with the federal government, with NNPC, with Tinubu, what do we have? Price increase. And the way this price increase is going, the Minister of Finance is giving us very big hints that the price is right now. The price is right. So they are at liberty to continue to increase it. What does that mean for you and I as Nigerians? And Dangote is saying, oh, let all the marketers come and buy for me. There's no need to import. Dangote is getting what he wants. Apparently, he knows how to bully the president. He knows how to bully NNPC. He knows how to bully everybody to get his way. He has the media, people in media who will come out and be defending him when he is apparently responsible for the suffering that Nigerians are in. I'm not going to come here and cry like every other Nigerian because I know that there's no point, absolutely no point in just coming here to banter. What has he done? This is not holding Tinubu or holding these people accountable. Holding someone accountable simply means that you make the person pay for what they did. How are we making Tinubu pay? How are we making Dangote pay? How are we making Mele Kyari and the NNPC pay? The more we rant and complain about what they do, the worse things they do afterwards. And so the Nigerian spirit appears to be broken. How long shall we continue like this? There's only one way out. In fact, two ways. First, solve the followership problem. Then second, solve the leadership problem. To solve the followership problem, we need a social welfare system backed by law. A social welfare system backed by law. We need it. If we don't get it, we are wasting our time. It has to be institutionalized. Right now, the so-called palliatives or the so-called welfare is dependent on the whims and caprices of individual leaders. So you give some palliatives to some lawmakers to distribute, or you give it to some leaders, minister to distribute, or you give it to some traditional leader or religious leaders to distribute. But do they distribute it? Your answer is as good as mine. Many of them don't. Even religious leaders. I know of a religious leader that raised offering for welfare, and during the process, a member of the church actually donated about 250 wrappers, Ankara wrappers. And rather than give these Ankara wrappers to the needy in the church, because they were brand new wrappers, the pastor's wife took these wrappers and went and opened a shop and started selling clothes. Didn't give it to the people. I'm talking about a pastor in a very popular church. Live. This is not story. I was in the church, so I know. So if religious leaders can do that kind of thing, you can imagine what traditional leaders are doing. They collect whatever monies that are given to the people through them, and they use it to buy Rolls Royces. Yeah, used to buy Rolls Royce. The money never gets to the people. All the monies that are given to the leaders of the Niger Delta, how much of it trickles down to the people? Billions and trillions of naira given to NDDC, how much of it trickles down to the people? The leaders, they capture it. They capture it. So this palliative system is dependent on the whims and caprices of individual leaders. And as long as it is dependent on the whims and caprices of individual leaders, what do you expect? It will never work. It will be corruption prone. Many will collect money and put it in their pockets, and then it will not get to everybody, because palliatives are not meant for everybody. It's meant for some people against others, or a very few people. So if we're going to solve the followership problem, we need institutionalized welfare system. And when we say institutionalized welfare system, what does that even mean? It means that it has to be backed by law, that the government, everybody from the federal to the state to the local government, will not have control over how the welfare is done and who does the welfare. We need a self-governing system, self-governing, and we can do it. Rather than focus our energy on this man, the lawmaker, and allowing him to dribble us into this pretend apology, allowing all of them, because everybody seems to now be, oh, that was bad. The party is saying that was bad. Oh, the media is saying that was, come, it's all a show. Not just from the lawmaker, from the National Assembly, from the political party. Yes, it's all a show. All a show. Instead of allowing all these people to take us for a ride by giving us a show, we need to put them on their toes to pass this law that will institutionalize our food and welfare system. And that's why we're pushing it. We have the law ready, and we need you to support us. We need you to support us on this, because you have a say. If this video gets 1 million views from Nigerians, what do you think will happen? It means that the politicians say that, oh, it's getting a lot of views, so they will say, oh, it means that Nigerians want this. That's what it will mean. But when you don't sign this video by viewing and liking it, then you are telling the politician that this solution, you don't want it, and they can afford to ignore it. But can they afford to ignore this solution at this point in time? The truth is, they should not. So, to move Nigeria forward, to save Nigeria, we need to solve the followership problem. And to solve the followership problem, we have to institutionalize food and social welfare systems, programs. And that means we must pass into law the Food and Social Welfare Bill. I've attached it. Go through it. Make your own contributions. But we must now send it to the National Assembly. Send it to the National Assembly. Send it to, yes, the Speaker. Send it to the President of the Senate. Send it to even the President of Nigeria. Send it to the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs. Send it everywhere. Send it to our celebrities. Everybody must now lend their voices to this cause. Send it to Human Rights Radio and Television, the Brekete family. Send it to Very Dark Man. Send it to anybody who claims they are working for the people. Because this is how to work for the people. Whatever it is anybody is doing is just a drop in a mighty ocean. They're doing a good job. They're doing a good job, but It's just a drop in the mighty ocean. Just a drop. The wonderful work that Brekete family is doing. Wonderful work. And I acknowledge it. It's wonderful. But you see, the truth has to be told also that for everything that Brekete family does, for every injustice that Brekete family fights, there is 1,000 more that it's not aware of, because the people who are victims do not even have the opportunity to approach Brekete family. In fact, what am I even saying? For every injustice that Brekete family exposes, there are hundreds more, even outside of Brekete family, on a daily basis that it cannot attend to. Just because it's human, it's limited by time and space. I have been to Brekete family and I've seen the crowds there every day. The crowd you see in the studio is nothing compared to the crowd outside. So for every injustice that Brekete family fights, there is a lot more outside of the studio that it cannot attend to, and there is a lot more out there in the society that they are not even aware of, because the victims do not have the capacity to even approach Brekete family. They don't have capacity to even make their voices heard. They don't. So we need to go beyond just this palliatives approach. I call it palliatives approach. Whatever Very Dark Man is doing is palliatives approach. Whatever Human Rights Radio is doing, Brekete family, is palliatives approach. They are good. Don't get me wrong. But they cannot reach everybody. They cannot reach everybody. So we have to now engage to institutionalize social welfare in Nigeria. It is time for us to do it. It is time for us to do it. We cannot afford to delay one day more. The speed with which the National Assembly passed the Appropriation Act, the speed with which the National Assembly passed the National Anthem, that speed, we need them to act in similar manner to pass this food and social welfare law. We need it. We need it. We need it. So that will solve the followership problem. What about the leadership problem? To solve the leadership problem in Nigeria, we need Abundance Party of Nigeria. Why do we need Abundance Party of Nigeria? Because right now, all the political parties that we have been hijacked. Hijacked by money bags. So it's money politics, cash and carry politics that they are practicing. And that's because from the constitution of the political party to the internal democracy of the political party, everything is susceptible, everything is prone to hijack by individuals. So these political parties, the way they are structured, the way their constitution is written, enables intrusion. It enables big money politics to tamper with the internal democracy of the party. And that's why you see that the APC is having its issues, the PDP is having its issues, the Labour Party is having its issues, even the NNPP is having its issues. And in fact, right now you can say that because of these issues they are having, it presents the president, Tinubu, the opportunity to actually control all of the political parties, these four major political parties, indirectly or directly. And so, it gives him the opportunity to be able to buy the system. It gives him that opportunity to buy the system. So, if we are going to free Nigeria from the current crop of low-cost leaders, we have to solve the leadership problem. Right now, people with integrity do not venture near politics. They call it a dirty game. What is it? Is it a dirty game for real? Politics is a game like any other game, if it is a game at all. And like any other game, it can be played by dirty people, it can be played by clean people. It just so happens that right now, because of the way the political parties are structured and run, politics appear to be played mostly by dirty people. And so they call it a dirty game. No, it's not a dirty game. It's just a game that is being played by dirty people. And how is it that it's only dirty people that are playing this game of politics in Nigeria? How? This is a question we must answer. It is happening because of the political parties. When you have a situation whereby political parties charge exorbitant sums, huge amounts of money, hundreds of millions, tens of millions, to get nomination forms. What do you expect? It is only people who are money bags, people who have been opportuned to steal one way or the other, that will participate in that process. So, what do you have? The well-minded, well-intentioned men with integrity, men with passion, men with ideas. Those people are discouraged from joining the leadership race. So from the political party, the foundation is laid for the rubbish and corrupt politics that we experience in Nigeria, that throws up corrupt persons to run for office, and then eventually the system is rigged and bought, and then throws up corrupt individuals to run our system. And then we say the system is bad. No, it is not the system. It is the people. If you bring the British system here, parliamentary system, which we had until Obasanjo sold us to America because of Yakubu Gowon, the same Yakubu Gowon that many years after is now praising. Even if you bring that parliamentary system to Nigeria, will it work? If it is still run by the same people, the answer is no. I can tell you that for free. Bring the American system, bring even military, because of the people that are operating it. And so far and so long as you have the same people operating the system, it won't matter the system that we adopt, we will always get the same result. It is obvious that we need to open up the political space, the leadership space. And to do that, we need, in fact, if we can have a reform, there will be no need to have a new political party. If we can have a law that says that no political party should charge for nomination form. No political party charges for nomination form in America. None. None. So if we can have that kind of reform, there will be no need for a new political party. But right now, the people who are in charge of the system, will they allow us to have these kind of laws? They will delay it as long as possible. So the best thing for us to do is to use our heads, is to act smartly. And to act smartly, what can we do? We can come together and form a new political party. And all of the reforms that we want in our political space, we start it with this political party. And then we put all the laws in there in the constitution of the party, put all the ideologies in the constitution of the party, and then put punishment for breach of such ideologies in the constitution of the political party. Codes of conduct will be clearly stated there. In fact, this action of the lawmaker that beat up the boat driver, there should be punishment for it in the code of conduct of a political party. So it's not, oh, the party is thinking about sanction. No. A properly written constitution or code of conduct of a political party would have punishment ready-made. And if the system actually worked, the arrogance that we see for the lawmaker in the green chambers, pretending to apologize when he's not actually apologizing, he's actually just rubbing salt on injury, we won't see it because he would have resigned. That's what sane people do. That's what sane people do. So he's not sane to go to that floor and be saying what he's saying after being caught. Anyway, he says that he has settled with the guy. Hey, Mr. Boat Driver, I hope he gave you at least 100 million for damages. So I hope he gave you 100 million. Don't behave like this lady that should have sued Eneche and did not sue him and decided, hey, my father, we have settled. And at the end of the day now, where is she? I hope she has not even been dismissed from the police. Because even her actions subsequently, going to Port Harcourt to go and relax and coming back to do a video to say, oh, now I'm a celebrity. I need a new house, contribute for me. That action is action unbecoming of a police officer. So even if the police officer dismisses her, I won't bat an eye. I won't look for a human rights lawyer to defend her rights. So I hope she's not been dismissed. See, such actions would not have been necessary if she has taken the correct step to sue Eneche and claim proper damages. Claim proper damages, settlement for yourself. I hope that's what you did, Mr. Boat's driver. If you didn't do that, it's your loss. Because these people won't change because of that. It won't. Look at the whole story, the whole show they gave us about Bobrisky. Very dark man, exposes Bobrisky and the AFCC and the Nigerian Correctional Services, and then the National Assembly came and said, oh, we are holding investigative hearing. All of those. Where has it landed us? Will it stop what they are doing? Does it mean that, oh, there still will not be preferential treatment for the high and mighty in the family when they are sentenced? In fact, the Correctional Services has actually come out to defend themselves that, yes, it's done everywhere, that high-profile inmates deserve high-profile treatment. So they just took us on all of that cruise ride just to waste our time. And while they were doing that, of course, they were increasing the price of petrol. And what can you do? What can you do? Even the NLC that we would have taught would have acted. Have they acted? The TUC that would have acted. Have they acted? No. The people that would have protested. Have they protested? No. Why? Because the leaders have suppressed them. The Nigerian spirit is broken. Who will mend it? The spirit of the Nigerian is broken. Who will mend it? We have to solve the leadership problem. We have to solve the leadership problem. And for us to solve the leadership problem, we need a new political party. Abundance Party of Nigeria is the way. Abundance Party of Nigeria is the way. These are the two things that I want to come and show us today. The Food and Social Welfare Program, which we hope will become the Food and Social Welfare Law that will correctly institutionalize welfare system in Nigeria. And then Abundance Party of Nigeria that will help us solve the leadership problem. We must solve both problems together, because if we don't solve the followership problem, they will continue to sell their votes. They will continue to shy away from participating in elections. Voter apathy will continue to increase, and the more people stay away from elections, the higher the number, percentage of voter apathy, the easier it will be for corrupt politicians to rig the system. That's what they want. So we must solve the followership problem. And to solve the followership problem is to institutionalize welfare system in Nigeria. To make it a law. To make it a law. So that it will not depend on who is the president or who is the governor or who is the local government chairman. It won't matter who that person is. The people get benefits. Why do people suck up to leaders? Why do people lick the boots and the asses of leaders? It's because they think or they know that their help comes from the benevolence of such a leader. So they will do whatever the leader wants just to appease the leader. So, and the leader, knowing fully well that he has control, particularly our politicians, knowing fully well that they have control over the people by weaponized poverty, they won't want the people to be free. They will want a situation where they continue to control the people using the weapon of poverty. So for us to free the people, the starting point is to institutionalize welfare. Any child that is born in America, any child, it doesn't matter whether the parents know the president or whether they know the senator, it doesn't matter. So far as the child is born in America, social welfare takes place automatically. It kicks in automatically. It kicks in automatically. In UK, their own system is such that the government continues to pay you until you are 16. They do it, and it doesn't matter who you know. It doesn't matter who you know. Getting benefit from your government should not depend on who you know. Right now in Nigeria, it is dependent on who you know. So somebody is appointed as a minister, and those who are his church members or mosque members or shrine members are rejoicing and saying congratulations because they feel that now they are close to the person who is in power, and so they will get some benefits. Even though not all of them will get benefits. In fact, majority of them will not get benefits because the people are so greedy. They loot this money and they store it abroad. So long as the people continue to depend on corrupt politicians, the people themselves will be corrupted. So what we need to do is to free the people by institutionalizing our welfare system. Join us to do these two things. Institutionalize our welfare system by supporting the food and social welfare law. Free up our leaders by supporting Abundance Party of Nigeria. We can pursue every other reforms. We can pursue reforms, electoral reforms, pursue constitutional reforms. We can pursue even secession, self-determination. But none of these things will happen without the right people in there. None. And that is why for me the starting point is to solve these two problems, the leadership problem and the followership problem. Join us in doing this. Join us in doing this. Bring in your contributions and your support. We like it so that we can take back this country and make it work.